Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 744 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Mullen. I am, of course, joined today by Chris Bono and Rob Roseboom.
Hello?
How are we doing on this fine Friday?
A little nauseous.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll try to be better.
I
Well,
can't tell you
I'd
how I'm
appreciate it.
doing for a little while.
Yeah.
I'll let you know about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
You had a doctor's appointment?
No, just waiting to hear back from the wife and for the meetings of the day to be over.
Oh, yeah. I have a fasting blood draw in like 4 hours, so I can't have breakfast or anything like that.
I like that as we get older, our conversations just increasingly become
I'm
medical maladies.
And I had 2 hard drives with some bad sectors, so I returned them. And, I got the other 2, but I'm wondering, like, when I put them into the new array, are they going to rebuild, or are they going to have to recopy everything, or what do you think? Rob?
I kind of want to build a new NAS, but I'm almost out of space on mine. I got like about a half a terabyte left.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's the project.
I'm a ways away.
My old NAS is okay. It's 11 years old.
Yep.
And the last time I like brushed against it, it broke a drive tray.
Mine's
yeah. Seriously, it got too brittle over time, and
mine's
so
9 years
literally,
old.
if I open it, it goes crack. So.
Mine's nine years old, and about 4 years ago, all of the hard drives failed, one after another. I replaced one, and then the next one failed, and then I replaced it, and then the next one failed, and it was just
exciting.
It took me about a week for each drive to do the RAID rebuilding thing, and then the next drive would fail, and that happened over the course of about 2 months. I replaced 4 of the 5 drives, and then I just replaced the last one just to be sure.
Yeah. One of the things so I've got the Synology, and it's literally, I'm not kidding, 11 years old.
Yeah, I have one too.
And it's a little low performance at this point.
Is that what you're streaming Plex off of?
Yes.
I want to get one of the newer ones because they have transcoders built in.
That's actually not true. I have a computer because the Synology simply wasn't powerful enough.
Yeah, you can't transcode.
Yeah, so I ended up putting an i7, 8-core i7 in front of it, and so it's just reading the drives. Yeah, and that's fine. So, yeah. But yeah, if I look at the storage manager on the Synology, here's the thing. I bought a new one, and I bought a bunch of drives, and I put 4 drives into a Synology, copied over a bunch of stuff, and it said that I had 27,172 bad sectors in the first drive and 1,380
That's the right number of bad sectors
in the second, and 0 and 0 on the third and fourth drive, because I only had 4 drives, so I've got the other 4 here. Anyway, so I went back to my old Synology with the 10, 11-year-old drives, and I'm like, I wonder how many bad sectors those have. So I go to the storage pool, I go to HDD, SDD, tab, wait for it, time. Everything takes forever on this damn thing. And then I did the little drop down, and not a single bad sector across any of the 8 drives from 11 years ago. So I'm like, okay. So I returned the 2 bad drives, wiped them, returned them, getting new replacements, and we'll see. So,
you know how to party.
It's very exciting. I mean, reading the smart logs for the old drives, I'm like, it's really something how old these are.
Yeah.
How many hours? Because I aggressively when I'm not using it actively, so it's like the number of hours really isn't that bad.
See, I think about how they're just spinning all the time.
Oh, they're not. They shut down.
I know you said you wiped them, but did you pour bleach over them after you were done?
No, they're going to Florida, so I figured
that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to pour bleach on them.
Yeah,
it's the only way to be sure.
Yeah, the last error, is when I brushed against it and broke the drive tray. So I had to take a drive out and replace the drive tray. So yeah, and so I reconnected that drive, rebuilt it, and it's fine.
It's hard having terabytes and terabytes of storage in your home.
It's wealth beyond the dreams of my childhood.
I know.
when I had the mere, I think we had a 10 megabyte, full height
Oh yeah.
drive.
My
and-
first hard drive was 40, and I felt like
Oh,
a
something.
god.
You were a god.
I can put on, Chris, 2 Sierra games on the D
Wow.
partition.
Yeah, I remember switching floppy disks for Starflight. I love that game, man.
My
So good.
when we got the computer, I didn't know about hard drive partitions. And it was partitioned into two 20 meg halves. And I didn't know that it had a D drive, a second partition. And I found that like 6 months later after we had the computer, I found it's like, oh, wow, there's a whole nother drive letter. And so then I recall vividly going through the entire alphabet, typing every letter to find out if there was any other drives that I didn't know about and had higher letters because I'm like a 7th grader and I don't know how hard drives work. Things were different then, guys. Okay, so the crazy thin, deep insert ATM skimmer. The picture of this.
That was
seemed
really
cool.
something, wasn't it?
I'm.
It's up here. So here it is, right? And that goes as you're looking at the ATM on the right side, and then this little bit, I think here is the part that slips in, and reads what's going on. So
So
basically, as you're
tiny.
bringing your card by, it's recording information. It's like, wow.
You would not believe how many of these get found around this area
Oh, I bet.
at
In
gas
Jackson?
stations.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
in Michigan.
yeah. Like, without exaggeration, 2 or 3 of them are found a month here, and there's
Wow.
a newspaper story about it. Mostly at gas stations, though.
Yeah, because you go to that over on the side next to the right,
Yeah,
right there
yeah.
in yeah.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
I don't know. Did the beeps come through?
it did.
I did.
But we all know that what you were really saying, which is so
Mhm.
racist.
It wasn't racist. All I said is that people are really a piece of when you think about how they're.
It's
looks,
really funny
okay?
listening to you to
Just
try to
saying.
fake a beep while you stop talking during the beep.
Well, I don't want to say I'm not really a racist person, and like I'm well trained since birth, basically. Like I couldn't let words like that pass my mouth, man.
I hear
It's
you.
just,
I hear you. The skimmer things, they like. It's been
God,
really
amazing.
fun to watch this because we've been talking about skimmers for 20 years, and they just keep getting tinier and tinier and smaller and more impressive, and like with 3D printing technologies and like smaller chips and Bluetooths and like all these little tiny bits of technology.
That picture up above, where it's part of the whole sort of frame of the ATM machine, that is
that's
brilliant.
where that camera is.
Yeah.
And what kills me also is they're still relying on America's reticence to switch to true contactless, right? It's like it only works. Like the only places they can scam punching in a card number are some online venues and some crappy places in, America. Like over there in, your neighborhood, Rob, right there over by and the with the and all the
If you keep beeping yourself, I'm gonna start
You're gonna mute
using
me.
my Chris sound effect.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, just the arms race of this has been fascinating to me.
It's really something.
And like the credit card companies, obviously they have the chips and everything, but we don't use the chips.
Oh, I use the heck out of it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't. It's
Well, I
the
live in
law.
civilization, though, not in.
Although I have to say, I don't like sticking the card into the machine and then having to wait. I like much better just swiping it and then being able to put it immediately away.
If it's the kind of machine that's going to hold on to the card and do the chip read, there's usually a contactless reader now. So
yeah, and you should also think about the machine, Rob. The transaction is just not about you.
That's true.
Yeah, it's got feelings.
Maybe a swipe is good enough for you, but the chip machine needs to hold that chip inside it for a while. Rob, that's all I'm saying.
It needs to feel something, feel special about itself.
It's like when there's a special relationship between a shuttle and its convoy machine.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
That shuttle really feels almost parental towards that airstream.
Where are we going, Dad?
Where are we going, Dad? We're going to space.
That's right. Well, or we're coming back from it. So yeah, that's the story here is that somebody bought the shuttle convoy command van at a
Yeah.
government surplus auction. And the article
Fantastic.
includes many pictures of this 1988 Airstream.
You know what? Far be it for me to copy an old marketing campaign, but I don't know why we didn't buy this and turn it into the Geeks in Space van. Right?
Oh,
Think about that.
You know
yeah.
why? Because we didn't see it until it was too late. It had already been
Yeah.
purchased.
Yeah. Hop aboard
And
the
there's some
GIS
guy,
cruiser.
he's like,
Oh, no.
look, astronauts pooped here. Yeah. Astronauts grab their sodas from here. Actually, they probably don't have sodas before going into space. They probably have like a
No,
flat.
probably like
Water.
those little bottles of vodka.
And then like you have like this little thing here, you know, like, look, this is where the clapboard crappy RV that the astronauts hung out in. Like, this is really threadbare though. It's like, do you think that they really sat at these crappy chairs?
Well, I mean,
Maybe.
look at the angle of them. It looks like everyone was just lounging in here, right?
Well, you know, they're probably in
They're
their
in their
their
suits, right?
flight suits.
Oh
and
yeah,
They're
right.
super awkward and catching on and they put their helmets back here. Maybe
Well,
that's why
also,
it's so
it's
gross.
only like 5 minutes by car from the center, from whatever where they get all dressed up to the launch pad.
Yeah.
It's not like
And they only
it's got a washer fluid light. That is fantastic.
washer fluid,
No
water
blinker
in
fluid.
fuel. That's what that says. Wow, that's weird. I've never seen that before.
No blinker fluid.
Low fuel, step.
Yeah, that is weird.
That's for when you need to have a dance battle in your spacesuits. Step it up.
Yeah,
you know,
It happens.
it happens. But look at this, 8,199.9 miles. I mean, that's pretty. Oh, wait, is this a space car?
Do you think
from
it rolled over?
1999? Space 1999?
Actually, those are light years, not miles.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
So
that's true. Oh, it's kind of like in Spaceballs, the RV that they had. You know, yeah.
Checks out.
Checks out. Oh man, that looks clapped out as crap. That was
Right.
so gross. And what's the TV for? You think, like, so they can see the shuttle behind them? Like,
No,
hey,
that's
it's getting closer. It's getting closer.
They call this the Lampy edition. That's so you can watch a DVD while you're driving.
While you're
to work.
driving. Gotta catch up on Little House.
Yeah, well, you know, Laurel Ingalls Wilder ain't gonna watch herself, buddy. You know,
That's true. That's true.
Wait, and then like it's kind of long, you know, which is something, and it's got a
an
weather
Airstream.
station. It's got you know, megaphones, and I think that's like the event from the pooper. So that's cool.
You know, if like an Airstream fanatic actually bought this, he could really. There are lots of parts available for those things.
Oh yeah,
original parts.
no, it'd be
really
fantastic.
crank this out. It'd be great.
Totally.
Well, you'd want to restore it. You wouldn't want to change
For
it.
sure. For sure.
You know, I'll put the meatball back on it. You know, because I guess the meatball is here.
It is sad they took the meatball off.
Well, you know, it's a government car that like we have to de-government it.
No
but
logo.
like I would love just to have the license plate, a NASA license plate.
Is that a special custom NASA plate?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be the coolest.
Here, let me zoom in.
Enhance.
914.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's the 914th NASA car. Huh? I bet you the crawler is like 912.
It's true.
I think it'd be fun to have like a kid in the back with an alien mask on just to peek out every now and again as you're driving down the highway.
I figure this is the camera that feeds that TV, you know?
Oh, you think it's a rear view?
And then they trail the shuttle themselves.
That's where they haul the shuttle.
That's where they haul the shuttle.
Get out the
when it gets into a pothole.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a lot. The thing isn't very fast, but you'd be surprised how much torque it has, right?
Yeah. Well, what cracks me up is they're like, and the tires are in fine shape. And it's got dualies, you know, which is, you know, that's not normal. Like
no, NASA does everything in pairs, man.
Well, you have to have redundancy, you know, for your flight controls, your tires, you know.
If you get a flat
and this is longer than a typical Airstream of that vintage, right? So they probably needed a little more oomph, you know, to look after it. And they have all the instruments they're carrying. Those are probably very heavy. I don't know. I'm just making shit up at this point. But look at these windows, man.
They deserve.
This is a space RV, man. And the guy bought it for 20 grand. I mean, that's a huge bargain.
For sure.
You know,
that should be in a museum.
For something with this history, this juju. Oof.
That should be in a museum for sure.
I'd love to try to drive this thing through a car wash. That's what I think.
I don't think the
Just-
weather station would survive it.
Wash
Right,
off the
have them wave you off as you pull up.
No.
No, keep going.
Did you guys watch this thing? It's actually super impressive.
The Blue
Let's see if I
Origin.
can-
So now we're gonna
Yeah.
watch the Blue Origin capsule. It had a bit of a situation.
So here, watch
Unmanned.
watch the butt here. I'm sorry, the nozzle end
The
of
nozzle.
the Blue Origin. So are you ready? I'm gonna hit play. And it's gonna happen in a few moments. And it's going up, up, up into the sky.
Riveting podcast moment.
Riveting podcast moment, a rocket. And now it's like, maybe I won't perform so hot in a few moments. And what's great about it is apparently it was completely computer controlled, the ejection mechanism, the whole thing. So
It is
as far as
impressive.
coming, there it is. There it is. See that little spurter?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
That's
and he's
bad.
like,
no.
and I'm out.
Whee!
You know, I mean, that's a hell of a mechanism. That's all I got.
Look at it go, man. That's cool.
I mean, it's just like, and out. You know, you're a bad boyfriend, and you know.
I can't imagine in that moment you would be the most terrified that you'd ever been, and then that happens.
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah,
imagine?
but luckily at this point, probably the emergency s'mores drop from the ceiling.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So that at least you can enjoy a s'more before you burn up.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
it's more a cheese foam now and tortilla chips. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah. And anyway, so it lands. Apparently, it landed at like 150 miles per hour, so that wasn't so good. But
so all of our launch rockets have had one of those, like the secondary escape mechanism of some form or another, but none of them have ever been used, right? Like with humans on board.
I don't think so. I think they had a test with a human on board of the mechanism in the past. You know, I guess that wasn't going 150 miles an hour. You could probably survive that.
Oh, you'd be fine.
It looked like it was going pretty quickly, though. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't opt for it.
You definitely, if that happens, you definitely ask Bezos for a refund.
But, yeah, I mean, he should definitely, Amazon Prime your replacement.
Yeah, you get that free 2-day shipping, man, for life.
That does remind me. I should go and look up. A while ago, I found a whole bunch of videos of military stuff being delivered that parachutes didn't open, and you can just watch hours of, military vehicles, crates just falling from the sky and exploding on impact when it hits the earth because the parachutes don't go out.
That's kind of scary. I guess I didn't really think about that as being like a common thing. I mean, I guess over thousands of parachutes.
Yeah, I mean, how much stuff have we airdropped, right?
Well, the paratroopers in World War II, not all of them had parachutes.
And a lot of them ended up shorter when they hit the ground.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that if you end up short, you can pay somebody $75,000 in order to make you 3 inches taller. I don't remember which one of you shared that story.
Where is it?
Yeah, there you go.
Here it is. Honestly, what the hell are these people are stupid.
Oh, are they breaking his legs and lengthening them? Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't have any respect for idiots.
But this story, man, you probably know somebody, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
They name dropped Google.
I think it's a cute story, but yeah, and I'm sure there's people out there who have done stupid shit like this. But this is the kind of thing you regret when you turn 50.
You think?
It's like, yeah. I mean, I've had some ski wrecks in my teens that I'm like, oh, I bet you that's what that is, now that I'm older. And I'm like, breaking your legs to get taller. I can see they're walking around in their 60s and suddenly, snap. It's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have broken my legs when I was in my mid-20s so I could be 2 inches taller. Maybe I should have just bought tall shoes.
Yeah, but
But there's a real good.
Yeah, I could be close to 7 feet tall.
That's true.
Fantastic.
That's
you could join a basketball troop and you could be in the middle of, and then you break your legs.
Yeah. They've correlated though height to lifetime earnings.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean,
I get it.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do it. Right?
No, but we're all in the upper percentiles for height.
How tall are you, Rob?
I'm 6 even.
You're 6 even? Yeah, me too. Although as I get older, I think I'm getting shorter.
I might have lost an inch since I measured myself.
Yeah, I think I'm like 5'11" now.
I have shrunk an inch.
Yeah, I think that it's maybe they should make this for old people. Now, here my question, and you guys can help me with this. Can we get really cool neon femurs like this
Oh, of
RGB?
course
picture?
you can.
Because I mean, that's what you want. It's not being taller; it's about having glowing femurs. I
I
mean,
want
how many people? There's never been a losing presidential candidate who had glowing femurs,
That's
I want
true.
all of my joints to be addressable RGBs.
right?
I
Right?
I just want adamantium femurs. Think about that.
Right. That also glows.
Indestructible thighs. Huh?
Indestructible thighs.
It
That's
could be really
what we'll
useful
call you from now on.
if you're like an actor who works in like a motion capture volume. I bet that would be practical.
It's true.
You can expense that.
Guess why? Indestructible thigh. Yeah.
Whoa.
Indestructible thigh.
No.
There's nothing that can't sit on my lap with my
I mean, people get
indestructible
butt
thighs.
implants, right?
Yeah.
Why not glowing femurs?
That's just so they can twerk on the Hulk.
They did that in She-Hulk,
I know. I watched She-Hulk. I watched yesterday's She-Hulk.
Was it good?
They-
I haven't watched it yet.
Actually, I enjoy She-Hulk. It's fluff. Whatever.
I thought it was been okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's okay.
Something can be okay, and it can be okay for you to enjoy it, and I enjoy
And
it.
I think I've enjoyed it so far.
I
It's been worth
got-
the time.
I do like the group of wives that the Abomination has
Yeah,
gathered as he's been in prison. I think that's
Yeah.
great.
his
That's
cult
really
of
fun.
7 wives or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. No, I think She-Hulk is absolutely charming fun. It's not
It's
world changing,
watchable.
but it's hard to compare the gravity of Endgame or the grittiness of Civil War to, I hope my
Civil
Twitter
War isn't. I mean, the action's remarkable, but
I'm
the
sorry,
last
I meant
third,
Winter Soldier. But
Winter Soldier was a little better.
yeah, but it's hard to compare that with something like this where the stakes are, will I win my court case? They're Ally McBeal stakes. Have fun with it. She's gonna get a new
Also-
costume.
Also, She-Hulk, was like the problem of Iron Fist was that was a character created at the time where everyone wanted Bruce Lee, right? So they all made sort of racist martial art characters for all their comic books, right? And She-Hulk was invented at the time where it was just, comic book bimbos, basically, right? So it's not like the comic book was, I hate to say serious or anything, but like she was never a super serious character.
Passing the bar in Los Angeles, the California bar is really hard to pass. So I'm just saying,
Tatiana Maslany could do it. She seems very smart.
she is very smart.
But next week she's going to get her costume, and I don't know if I'll just go ahead and give you the big spoiler. But we saw Daredevil's helmet in the background at the costumers' place.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
What are you playing here?
That's Starflight. That's that game I told you about.
Click, click, click.
It's on the archive.
Did you ever play Alley Cat?
No, I never played Alley Cat.
Only in real life.
You're right. Get Alley Cat up on Internet Archive. That game is. I played the heck out of that game when I was a kid, and it's not a particularly good game, but it's. I played a lot of it. Chris is either swearing or configuring a ship. It's hard to tell.
I'm configuring my ship. Oh man, I don't have enough for a missile launcher. That stinks.
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to just make some sacrifices. Let's
What I
see.
do? I broke them. Oh,
Well, the other story that we have on the list is that Blade Runner 29 is getting greenlit. It's going to go to Amazon Prime.
2099, not
2099.
29. Although 29 would be all right. Like it'd be like just a bunch of monks like yelling at each other and saying, "No,
it'd be
you
like-
you are not a real person," and
And then one of them invents bronze.
you are but a witch.
Uh-oh. That's intense, man.
It's been a long time since I configured a ship in Starflight. I don't remember the keys, and I keep on hitting escape, which kicks it into the menu.
I'm sorry.
We didn't talk about killing people with nitrogen.
Oh, we scrolled
Oh
past
yeah,
that.
we should do that.
We should. That one's creepy. That's not on my list. Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, it says new posts. Where is that story?
Well,
there it is.
as you know, as I'm sure you both know, a lot of doctors don't want to give prisoners a death hypodermic needle shot.
Weird. You think the Hippocratic
And
Oath might
the
extend to that?
well, and the companies that make the anesthetics, they don't want to sell to prisons, right? They're like, how about
Well,
we not?
they just don't make that chemical that they used.
Oh yeah.
That's the main problem. They
Oh,
don't
is that happening too?
that they don't make the
It was a
chemical.
cyanide, hydrogen cyanide.
Uh,
What are they making?
no. So there's been like debates about. So there is a drug that they use to euthanize animals that some places have wanted to use, but it hasn't been cleared for human use, so they can't legally. So this is one thing that, like, right now, it does have some agricultural use.
Mm-hmm.
And during the lockdown, we ended up needing to put our old Newfoundland down,
Oh,
and there weren't any vets who would make calls to houses at that point, even big animal vets out here.
wow.
And he was to the point where, I mean, he was a big boy. He was like 180 pounds and a lot of pain, so we couldn't really get him in the car either. So we looked up all kinds of things, and this was one thing, because there was a point where we're like, if we can't find someone over the weekend, we might actually have to put them down ourselves. And this is one thing that people talked about
Do
doing to
you?
put their animals down.
I assume that you sedate them first, like knock them unconscious,
Nope,
and then. Oh my god.
nope, because most of the air you breathe is already nitrogen, right?
Sure.
So unlike carbon dioxide, if you breathe in carbon dioxide, you're breathing in carbon dioxide and you start to choke and you start to panic. The thing with this nitrogen is you're breathing mostly nitrogen anyway. So your body doesn't pick up those cues and you don't feel like anything is happening. It feels like you're just breathing. You just go to sleep because very quickly nitrogen fills up most of your blood with no, and all the oxygen goes away. So you just basically pass out and then eventually your heart stops. So it's actually a pretty humane way of doing things. But yeah, so the way they do it in agriculture, at least the last one I read, most efficiently is they put the animals into a foam, a nitrogen foam, and they just leave them in this foam
Oh,
for a minute or two, and then they die. So
that fast,
I
huh?
I can't imagine what it would look like to have a death row inmate like on a dunk tank with people throwing balls at the target to drop them in the nitrogen foam and kill them, or whatever method they would use. I assumed they would use the dunk tank because that's what I would choose.
It's the most
Uh,
humane way to kill.
right, right. So yeah, this would be something, right? Uh,
That's terrifying.
it would be that would be a lot probably weirder to watch than just someone strapped to a gurney and put a needle in their arm. Although much better, I suppose, than watching someone die in the gas chamber
Or the
or
chair, man.
the chair. Um,
That stuff
Although
is brutal.
honestly, if you're talking about the most efficient and probably painless way, I read a book about this. Is literally firing squad, like a bullet in the base of your skull kills you almost instantly. You feel nothing. It's the most humane way, really, to kill someone.
What
But the
about the
fact that
guillotine?
you're using a bullet to do that, uh, you know, seems violent and therefore puts people off. But anyway,
But would
yeah,
the guillotine be better or worse? Ass-
probably
uh,
worse
Assuming that you have a guillotine that doesn't get stuck halfway, like a
because
hydraulic super
the
guillotine.
guillotine is, you know, killing you from blood loss and not being able to breathe. It isn't destroying the nerve center of your body, right? So there's probably moments where you're I mean, there's a famous story, I can't remember which queen it was who was beheaded, but supposedly when her name was called, her eyes shifted and she focused on who was saying her name before she died. So
That's totally fine, right? That's no big deal.
yeah.
I don't think
So anyway,
I don't
they
like
want to
any of
start
these
doing
plans.
that in Alabama. They're
Eh,
like, hey, why don't we just start dropping people in nitrogen
So
foam?
My question is, can we use their glowing femurs to extend? Sorry,
We should
I'm
just
busy making my crew for my spaceship.
we've lost you to a 1980s DOS game.
That's such a good game, though.
It happens. It happens.
I have an Elowan here. I'm gonna show this.
I understand.
Creating an Elowan.
Is there any good media for us to consume this weekend?
That's a good question.
And/or premieres next week?
Oh, you know what's in the theaters?
Oh,
Is
theaters.
Emily the Criminal. I think that's coming up soon, or they just showed it at the Toronto Film Festival. I really want to see that movie. It looks really good.
I'm gonna look it
It's
up.
got Aubrey Plaza as
like
a
her.
down on her luck gal who sort of breaks bad, I guess. I don't know. It's got a great vibe though, man.
She is in some really good little quirky indie films.
Yeah, right.
I just watched one of her that she was in this week. She was in, boy, what was it called? I'd have to look it up. She was in one where they were like a chef contest and they go to Italy.
Yeah. Was that good? I want to see that.
I mean, if you like that kind of movie, it's really good. It's a very specific tonal thing, though. It's all about watching people who are kind of idiots.
Is the menu out yet?
I don't know.
I'm really looking forward to that.
I think that one's
that also premiered at the Toronto Film Festival. That's the one where I think a high-end single thread in a little Washington style restaurant turns into a hunt the other diners kind of show. Yeah. So
did you see Aubrey Plaza in The Bear?
I was gonna say, did you see The Bear?
The Bear is awesome.
I enjoyed the heck out of that.
We watched the first episode of The Bear.
No,
my wife's like,
a movie.
Can't
different thing.
Do it. Oh,
different thing.
Oh, okay.
It's Aubrey Plaza is in a movie called The Bear, and it is extraordinarily good. But it's two movies, and the first movie,
Bear.
The Black Bear. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Black Bear.
The first movie and the second movie are connected. They're like two retellings of the same events. It's extraordinary. And Aubrey Plaza in the second half of that movie is just like, how does that woman not get all the Oscars?
I think she's possibly one of those once in a generation actors. We're gonna be like, holy crap, where the hell did she come from?
I love her sort of presence and persona in interviews too. She's so weird and funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I kind of groove on her because she's a bit of a weirdo to begin with, but because she got onto Parks and Recreation when she was really young, so she's kind of in the same boat as like the Daniel Radcliffe, people who made so much money.
He was really young.
Sure, but people who made so much money, in their, before they were truly humans, before they were fully formed humans. And so because of that, they get to forever be insane. And Dan Radcliffe, just gets to go and be like Weird Al and stuff, Good for him.
I'm looking forward to that movie. That's coming. Is that this weekend or
November?
It's coming.
Yeah, all of them premiered at the Toronto Film Festival, which is why we've been hearing so much about them.
Yeah, there's a Emmy speech she gives, Parks and Rec, where everyone goes, and says there a little bit, and it's her turn. She goes up there and she's like, I would just like to thank Satan. And everyone starts pulling her back, like, no, we told you not to say anything about Satan stuff.
No Satan.
It's really funny.
She's legit funny, and weird, and gets to be. Not everybody gets to be like that, or like in public at least. I assume that a lot of folks are weird in private, but
but she gets to be delightfully eccentric, right?
The right kind. And now I want to find what the name of that movie was that I just saw her in, where she was in it's Spin Me Round. Yeah, that's the one. Spin Me Round. It's Alison Brie is the star of that. It's a weird movie. It's really worth
watching.
The
short that she did, or is this something else?
Spin Me Round is a feature film.
Oh, that's the Italian one. Yeah.
She was also in what's it called, The Hours, where there are a bunch of nuns. That's a funny one too. Same director, I think, as Spin Me Around. But good for her, man. She was also in Child's Play, which I did not watch.
I didn't see that.
The remake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched.
Is it worth anything?
Is it everything you ever wanted it to be?
it's okay. It got crapped on a lot. Basically because the original Child's Play was about soul inhabiting the doll, right? And
Right.
involved voodoo and mysticism and magic. And this one is this disgruntled worker puts a experimental AI chip in one of these buddy dolls, and it becomes evil, basically.
Chris,
So
if you're
it's
gonna
an
play
evil
that, can you
robot.
mute it?
Try it. I don't know why it's not
It's
letting me mute it.
clicking
I
like
know it's
really
just not letting
loud
me mute
into
it.
my speaker.
All right, fine. See, because like I, Mhm.
I mean, play
I
away,
think it's
man,
just
but
the
that
emulator.
clicking is like speaker
Nah,
points.
no, it's fine. I'll save it for later.
Uh,
Oh no, the thing I was gonna point out, crud, it was in my head. Now it's gone. Never mind.
Eh.
There was something else. I was like, oh, you guys. Oh, it's the chess master who was cheating using.
Oh, the anal beads.
Oh,
Yeah,
I almost
vibrating.
put that in,
I
but
meant to.
there wasn't any proof
There
that
were no
really
photos?
happened.
No,
Well,
it's
like it all stemmed from someone just making the allegation in a tweet.
yeah,
So,
not a lot of
it's-
substance.
yeah.
But the idea that you would be communicating with an AI through a vibrating anal bead is pretty awesome for chess gossip.
Sure.
Yeah, it's saying it was a joke. That's not cool, man.
That's not a cool joke.
Well, it's not cool. I mean, this guy Neiman, everyone's gonna be like, "Hey, you're the anal bead guy." Yeah, so
Forever the anal bead guy.
it's not cool.
I mean, I guess there's worse things to be, but there's certainly a lot better things to be.
The criminal. I'm putting your link onto the zone. I gotta find.
Yeah,
the anal
apparently
bead
he
story.
cheated while doing online games.
Yeah.
And he admitted to it.
And he admitted to it.
Yeah.
That was actually a thing that
Oh.
happened in. God, there was a movie that I just watched recently that has Patton Oswalt. I Love My Dad.
My dad. I was just gonna say, I
Yeah.
just watched I Love My Dad, and I was really looking forward to it because I was listening to a podcast where he was talking about it, and the plot seemed like hilarious to me, dark but hilarious, and it says it's a comedy, and I watched that with my wife this weekend,
Oh,
and it is not a comedy really.
no, it's
There
pretty
are a
dark.
couple funny things that happen in it, but yeah, it's just
pretty
really
dark.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And based on a true story. So you really wonder what, like, based on, I really wonder how, because the fundamental premise of the movie has to be true, right?
Sure.
Like maybe the details are a
So-
lie, but
So for those of
clearly-
you who don't know, the plot basically in a nutshell is that this guy's son is suicidal. He is getting out of a institution, and they are estranged from each other. And he is really trying to be part of his son's life. So he ends up catfishing him as this waitress he
girl.
meets
That's dark. That's why I didn't watch it.
at a
It sounded
cafe.
so dark, man.
And
It is.
there are parts of it that are pretty funny, particularly when people find out what he's doing. They're like, this is sick shit. What are you doing? Knock it off.
Messed up.
But it
They also
just gets
do
sad.
just directing wise, they do a neat thing where so the woman that Patton Oswalt is impersonating is a waitress, and so during some of these scenes they'll switch the performer. So sometimes the lead is talking to the waitress actress, and sometimes he's talking to Patton Oswalt, who's just saying the same lines. And the other thing that they do, which is the most horrifying thing in the movie, is this is why I thought of it with the chess thing. He plays chess, and that's what he does with chess, online chess. He logs into 2 games and has the other person play against the person. But he does this with this girl it's Molly Shannon. And so he uses
Rachel Dratch.
So he uses Rachel Dratch to sext with his son, and he acts as the intermediate between the two of them, and it is so disturbing and so darkly funny.
Particularly at the end when his son figures out who it is, and then they have the same sort of kissing scenes with the waitress, but with Patton Oswalt sit in there.
Yep.
You're like, oh my god,
no.
it's even worse. It's terrible.
It's worth watching, but you have to be willing to sit through a
maybe
really
like
dark
on a
movie.
15-hour flight. where I'm hating everything.
I mean, it just comes down to, are you the kind of person who wants to revel in darkness?
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
For sure, it's a very dark movie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say it's a comedy.
No, it's in the great, but it's dark comedy, right? But it leans
Yeah.
harder into the dark than the comedy.
For sure.
Same thing with Spin Me Around, I suppose. That's a pretty dark comedy. That's more bleak, just kind of sad.
Yeah.
But highly recommended. I've been rewatching Doom Patrol and really having fun with it.
That's cool.
That I had really forgotten how weird season 1 was. That show hits the ground running, and I'm really enjoying watching it again.
It was a weird first season.
Yeah. Do we have anything else that we want to hit?
Nope.
9.
All right. Then let's say goodbye to Rob Roseboom,
Goodbye.
Chris DeBona.
See ya.
And that was episode 744 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob Banner Tapamalda, and we'll see you next week. Bye.